We're going to hear about the Masters in Finance program, or MFin program, as we call it at MIT, MFin. And two presenters, Andy Lowe and Heidi Pickett. Now, Andy is the Charles and Susan Harris Professor of Finance. Those of you who, like me, have the pleasure to work with Andy Lowe, I can report he's a fantastic colleague that is operating at all points of my triangle and many other spots besides. His most recent paper or at least the most recent one that I've heard, is an evolutionary theory of the survival of the fittest leading to behavioral biases and risk-taking. That's pretty good. And Andy is our area head, or our finance group head, and has been essential to a lot of the progress we've made recently. You may have noticed, I don't know whether you did notice, that Time Magazine has just named Andy as one of the 100 most influential people in the world. So Andy, no pressure, just. And Heidi Pickett, who's the executive director of the MFin program, has been at MIT for about, 6, 7, 8 months now. She came to us with a lot of experience in the financial industry at State Street, specifically State Street Global Markets. So she has taken her long experience in the outside world of finance, and we're very lucky to have her running the Masters in Finance program. As I understand it, Andy's going to step up first, and then Heidi's going to take over.
It's really wonderful to see all of my former students from various different programs, undergraduate, graduate, PhD, MBA, Sloan Fellows. So welcome all. I have to fight the urge to hand out a problem set, but I'll try to do that. I have to say that it's a bit of an impossible task to follow Bob Merton, but fortunately, I actually have the very pleasant task of telling you about an innovation at MIT that really capitalizes on all of the wonderful things that Bob, Stu, John Cox, Franco Modigliani, Fisher Black, Myron Scholes, all of the greats of finance have pioneered. And I have to first start by explaining to you, those of you who aren't as familiar with the kind of department that we have at Sloan, just to give you a sense of what it is that we're talking about here. I mean, I think all of you recognize that finance has a very special role and place at MIT. But if you look at the names of individuals involved, it's really an extraordinary collection of a very small number of individuals that have had an incredible impact on the industry, on the entire triangle of theory and data and practice. And to give you a sense of what it's like, I know that a number of you are in the asset management industry. So imagine if you were invited to join an asset management company, and this company had portfolio managers of the likes of Warren Buffett, George Soros, Jim Simons, Paul Tudor Jones, David Shaw, and these are just the day-to-day interactions you would have with these individuals. It's kind of an intimidating and exhilarating place to be. And all of you who graduated from Sloan over the years, you know what I'm talking about, that every day there are new insights that these pioneers provide to us. So the MFin program is really meant to take that Sloan Finance franchise and expand it in a very, very significant way. Now, one of the questions that Bob Merton got during the Q&A was, what do we do about this? That even if you have the right answer, how do you get the right thing done? And actually, the MFin program is a direct response to that challenge. Our view is that finance, while there may have been a number of problems in the financial industry, finance itself is not the problem. In fact, finance ultimately is going to have to be the solution. And we didn't have too many people in the financial industry we didn't have enough. We didn't have enough people that had the expertise. And so the hope is that the MFin program will really allow us to capitalize on that. This is a quote from Bob: "The world of finance is changing rapidly, and global financial leaders must be able to rethink the instruments and institutions of finance, and our intensive one-year program is really designed to do just that." That really is the motivation. To give you an idea of some numbers and why it is that we're undertaking this challenge, this is a very, very broad kind of a view of the number of students that we produce going into finance. Starting in 2006, you can see that obviously the crisis hit shortly after, and the number of students going into finance from our MBA program declined. With the MFin program, we have the opportunity to expand that reach. And in a minute, I'll talk a little bit about the relationship between the MBA program and the MFin, because that's something that we have thought a great deal about. But the point is that we want to be able to increase the footprint of MIT in the financial industry, and obviously for better. And I'll talk a bit about that as well. So the goals of the Master of Finance program is really to train the next generation of financial leaders. And we hope to do that in a variety of different formats and with a number of different specializations. One of the things that we did not do, and we were actually debating this internally, and a number of people suggested we might consider, is to create a Master of Financial Engineering. And I think some of you know that there are MFEs out there. Berkeley has a very successful one. But our view is that finance is more than just about engineering. There are a number of activities that really cut across a variety of different functions, and that are really our approach is to be much broader about the kind of students we hope to train. In particular, specializations in corporate finance, capital markets, asset management, risk management, government policy, and financial technology are all aspects of the MFin program. Also, we intend to capitalize not just on the MIT finance tradition, but the MIT tradition broadly defined in economics, statistics, mathematics, electrical engineering, computer science. All of the different strengths of MIT are going to be accessible through this MFin program. We expect students to get involved in leading edge modeling, but we also expect them to think about practice and to think about the ethical implications of what they're doing. And that's actually a pretty important part of the program, because one of the things that we recognize at the outset is that with knowledge comes power. And as Bob mentioned, sometimes you can have too much power for doing certain things. I think the same can be said about finance. Sometimes finance involves too much power, and you have to know how to wield it properly. And so throughout all of our courses, throughout the entire curriculum, we actually focus on the ethical use of these kinds of tools. We have a number of faculty, staff, and adjuncts that are involved. The finance faculty has grown quite a lot since the early days. As you probably know if you've looked at our website recently, we will have about 21 faculty in finance and a number of adjuncts and professors of practice. We're really excited about that combination because, as Stu pointed out, finance is really this triangle, and we think that the combination of these individuals really provides that kind of balance. So the basic idea behind the Master of Finance program is that it's a one-year program. It begins during the summer. Orientation is the first week of July, and then during the summer, the MFin students are taking finance theory, as well as corporate financial accounting. And then in the fall semester, they'll take advanced analytics of finance, and then a number of electives in fall and spring. One of the benefits of the MFin program is that we now have greater resources to create electives. And so because of the program, the MBA program has benefited in being able to have access to a variety of new courses, one of which is Debbie Lucas's course on fixed income, which we're really excited about. She's teaching it right now. And I'm hoping Debbie will talk a bit about that, as well as some of her work on government and policy in the session to follow. So the requirements are to take courses over the 3 semesters, the summer and then the 2 semesters, but there's also a practicum component which during IAP, students can get involved in companies working on specific projects. And this is where we would love to get your engagement and involvement. Any of you who are interested in being part of that practicum, in hosting some of our MFin students, please get in touch with us, with Heidi, with any one of us, and we'd love to be able to get you involved. And finally, I want to talk a bit about the whole focus on what we're trying to accomplish with MFin and the interaction between MFin and the MBA program. One of the things that we're very concerned about at the very outset is the potential for cannibalizing our MBA, and we certainly don't want to do that. The MBA program is extraordinarily successful, and we launched a track in finance as part of the MBA program, which John Parsons is heading, so we're really excited about that. Our view is that the MFin program is really a new asset class, and I want to explain a little bit about what I mean by that. As many of you know, MBA programs, 2-year programs, provide a certain career path for individuals that typically start at the associate level. But there are a large number of positions that are junior that also require now more and more financial expertise at the analyst level. And what we've been finding is that the demand for those students has grown dramatically, and it grows in a way that complements the MBA program. So we find that places that hire MIT students at one level often want MIT students at other levels. In fact, that's one of the ways that we got involved in the MFin. It was because the hirings that we were getting, they would come back to us and say, but do you have any students of this profile or of that profile? So the MFin program has actually allowed us to greatly expand our curriculum, and if you take a look at our finance group website, I'd encourage all of you to do that. You'll see a number of new courses that we're able to offer. And so I think this kind of combination is something that we've always thought about, we've dreamed about it, but for a variety of resource constraints and other issues, it's been very difficult to do. And thanks to Dean Schmidtlein, we're actually able to do this now and make it a reality. And so we're really thrilled about it. I'd like to turn the floor over to Heidi Pickett now so that she can describe to you a little bit about the efforts that we have in reaching out to recruiters as well as alums to describe this new asset class and to encourage all of you to get involved with us either as mentors or as part of the research practicum, and look forward to interacting with you over the course of the next few months and years. So please join me in welcoming Heidi. Thanks.
So Andrew said it was intimidating to follow Bob Merton. I have to follow Bob Merton, now Andrew Lowe. This was not part of the job description, but equally exciting. But what is exciting is being the director of this new program, and what is part of the job description is raising awareness around what this degree is and really looking at how do we communicate the value of this program, create awareness, increase the applicant pool, and build strong relationships with future recruiters and future companies that are going to sponsor projects to our finance research practicum. So some of the ways that we're doing that is with a very active media approach. And we've had a number of articles in the press recently by Andrew Lowe, by John Minahan, talking about the program in general, the MFin degree, talking about action learning as a key component to our curriculum. And we also issued a press release, which was really quite important earlier this year because it announced 2 major components, new additions to the program that we're pretty pleased about. One was adding a 3rd round to our admissions process. And that was critical because we really wanted to target college seniors who may not have been thinking about a master's program in finance in the earlier rounds, and that proved to be very successful. And in terms of the applications we received in this round 3, it far exceeded our expectations, not only in quantity, but more importantly in quality. And we were able to identify a number of very strong candidates that we admitted who had not considered this degree program beforehand, but finds the value in coming for this deep dive in finance before they enter the job market. The other key addition was the addition of fellowship opportunities. And so now we're very lucky to have a pool of funding to help partially offset the cost of tuition, which really makes us very competitive. And we're able to attract great candidates with outstanding academic achievements and personal achievements and professional promise. So we're very pleased to be able to offer those fellowships and hope that we can continue to do that and grow the fellowship funding over time. one thing we're doing is very active engagement and outreach with various populations. And we've targeted the MIT Sloan PhDs that are currently teaching in other universities or who may be in corporate to talk about the MPhil program and requesting that they send their top candidates to our program, refer them to us, or if they're in the position of working in a company, that they could think about becoming a recruiting partner with us. We're also reaching out to professors that have recommended our current students, thanking them for sending us their top students, and to encourage them to consider to refer more students to our programs, and that's worked out really well. And of course, leveraging the strong alumni network. The network for the MPhil program, since we're only graduated 2 classes, is relatively small, so we're really tapping into the broader MIT Sloan network, which has been fantastic. And a recent example of that is as we're looking to build out additional markets and to recruit applicants from more geographic diverse areas, as recently in the Middle East, and reached out to the MIT alum there to talk about the MPhil program, to get introductions to key organizations where we think that there would be opportunities for them to sponsor their early career professionals to our program. And it was a very exciting opportunity because there's such a need for higher ed, particularly in finance, in that part of the region. But the alum there just felt so strong that they would love to see more MIT presence, more expansion of the alumni network. So we'd like to do more of that globally as we're looking to increase the applicant pool and to broaden the geographic presence. And these efforts are certainly working out, and we're seeing a tremendous amount of increase in applications, nearly 50% over last year, which is a huge increase in demand, and so that's great, and really using the very competitive admissions process so that we can seat a class of 120. And as Dean Schmidtlein said earlier, we're over 10, we're seating over 10 applications per seat, so that's very good stat there. And here's a snapshot of the current class profile. 36% women, which is a great number, and we're going to see more of that with our incoming class. Very global program with 70% non-US, and that will continue, though we'd like to see more geographic diversity within that 70%. Average work experience, 17 months, so about half of our class comes in directly from undergraduate programs, with experience ranging from 0 to 4 years. And of course, as you would expect, they're coming with very strong academic achievements and high test scores. This is our most recent employment data for the class of 2011, and we're very pleased with very strong stats. 85% of job-seeking students received an offer by graduation. 91.5% had offers by 3 months after graduation. And these are just tremendous stats that I think speak to the quality of the graduates that come out of this program, particularly in a job market that may have been more challenging with positions. And you'll see the list of companies that are hiring our candidates, list that you would expect, all very high-quality firms, and we'll be looking to grow that list, certainly as we bring in a class of 120. So as I said earlier, a key component is leveraging the strong alumni network, and this is where my ask of you is how can you get involved as we're continuing to raise awareness around this asset class, around the MPhil program. If you can consider making a premier hire, so when you're doing your recruiting and hiring plans, to think about MPhil as a key choice. Sponsor early career finance professionals. So if you're in an opportunity where you have early career finance professionals that could use additional education, sponsor them to our program for 1 year, and then they'll return to your organization all the better prepared to take on the future global challenges. Certainly, the finance research practicum is a key component to our program, and so we're always looking to partner with companies who have business issues that they would like to put on the table for our group students to come up with solutions, which is a great opportunity for you to be able to see the value of what these students can bring to the table, get a chance to interact with them, work with them, and then you get a solution to your business problem at the end of the term. And then, of course, I would be remiss to say that on-campus engagement is highly critical. Our students value, appreciate, benefit the time that you spend with them in mentoring situations, talking about your careers, talking about issues in finance. We have a speaker series. We're always looking for alum to come and talk about various topics within financial services. So I'd like to thank you for your past, your current, and certainly your future commitment to this program, and anything that you can do to help us is always greatly appreciated. This is an extremely exciting opportunity, and we hope that you'll find it equally as exciting as we do. Thank you.